All right, so Brady with goHUNT, and today we're over at the Sitka headquarters. I got John Barklow here, and we were talking about layering and layering systems, and we're just going to run through kind of your way you describe layering.
Yeah, so it can be really overwhelming when you look at all the stuff out there and all the brands, and it can be really confusing for somebody to try to put together a system. And I think that's really what you want to do, is you want to put together a system of clothes that work together to really give you this performance. And so I kind of break it down and say you just need 8 pieces. And most of those pieces are going to be on your body. But if you just buy 8 pieces, that's going to get most of us through the majority of our seasons.
So we can go from September to October.
Yeah, exactly. And if the weather starts to get cold, then you can change one of those pieces out. Say you can go from a midweight puffy jacket to a heavyweight puffy jacket, but you still only need 8 pieces. Mm-hmm. So the first 2 are base layer, and I say base layer is foundational to any clothing system. So synthetic or wool, that's totally your choice, but it should be a lightweight base layer, top and bottom. And if I'm not necessarily wearing the bottoms, I'll generally carry them because the weather can change, as so quickly out there, and you can wake up one morning and there's snow on the ground.
Have it, not need it, than need it, not have it.
Exactly. So base layer, top and bottom are the first 2. The third one is a nice soft shell pair of pants. So generally you're looking at polyester. You could have some nylons. Lots of different features here. Suspenders, knee pads, like you name it. Camel patterns, solids, like the possibilities are endless. But a good medium weight, soft shell pant is kind of like your armor from the elements. It's going to protect you from abrasion and some light rain and snow and stuff like that. So that's number 3. Number 4 is what I'll call an active insulation piece. And so at its most basic, an active insulation piece is, say, a heavier weight piece of fleece. So a mid or heavyweight fleece. And what I mean by active is you can put it on and you can still hike around in it. So it's going to breathe good enough, right, that you can hike, but when it's cold, you kind of want that extra insulation. But there's a few pieces on the market now, and we make one called the Kelvin Active Jacket, and I call those hybrid active insulations. And so we've taken fleece, but you put this outer layer on it that makes it more abrasion resistant, and it sheds some light rain and snow. So it's still breeze, but now it's got a bigger performance attribute to it. So that active insulation piece, I think, is one that people can overlook, but that's huge. So that's number 4. Number 5, I'm a huge proponent of anything Windstopper. So I like a little, wind shirt, wind shell. If it's not Windstopper, it can be something like, Black Diamond makes one, I think, called the Helium, but just something to block the wind. And, a lot of times with an active insulation piece and some type of wind shell, that's all you need to be able to move around while you're active and hiking uphill and generating heat. And then if you stop in glass even for 5 or 10 minutes, that wind's not cutting through your clothes.
Glass, you don't want. If you're uncomfortable, you're not going to be glassing.
Yeah, and you start shivering and stuff. And so just that little lightweight wind shell or Windstopper jacket can be huge. And we make several different kinds of those. And then the next one, so number 6 is your puffy jacket. And we were talking about the new Aerolite jacket that's launching, but the puffy jacket is huge. And I've done some courses over the last month or so, and it's interesting that the puffy jacket kept coming up as a topic of conversation, and people really didn't understand like the application of it. But if the fleece is your active insulation, the puffy jacket is your static insulation. So that's what you're going to put on when you're glassing, put on when you're in camp. I wear it when I go to bed. But that is the piece that's going to trap all that insulation. And then the last 2, 7 or 8, are rain jacket, top and bottom. And we were talking earlier again, and I just said, listen, rain gear to me is like car insurance. Like I never leave the house and go, gosh, I hope I get to wear my rain gear the entire trip. Like I hope to never wear it.
Yep, exactly.
So I wanna spend good money to buy the best I can, but I want it to be lightweight. And I want it to perform, because at the end of the day, nothing is going to keep you dry when you need rain gear except rain gear. And so, if maybe you're in the desert Southwest, you don't need it so much. But if you're, in any of the Rocky Mountain states or going north, like you have to have that in your pack. And so, you know, with those 8 pieces and then a few accessories, hats and gloves, of course, like 8 pieces is really all you need. And you may be wearing up to, well, you could be wearing all of them at once, but most of the time you're probably gonna be wearing 4 to 5 of those. So you only have a couple pieces that are riding around your pack for you know, those contingencies.
This made it really simple too. I don't know why I never thought of the whole 8-piece system.
Well, this is my job. This is
Yeah,
what
that's
I
why
spend.
you're the
This is
guy.
what I spend my life thinking about.
Yeah,
So,
this really keeps it simple and makes it easy for someone to understand what they need,
Yeah.
and they can then, like you said, swap it out when the seasons change.
Exactly.
And weather conditions.
Yep.
And- all right, so there's a lot of different options when it comes to Sitka, and the great thing is we now carry pretty much everything you guys have from the whitetail line. We sell stuff in the big game line, subalpine, open country, solids. So a lot of different options out there, all available in the goHUNT gear shop. And do you want to touch on the merino synthetic thing right now too?
yeah, you know, it's really interesting when you talk base layers, and the question that inevitably comes up first is, you know, synthetic or wool. I like to say that I'm pro-synthetic. I'm not anti-wool. But the other thing I'll say is it's completely shooter's choice. And you can't go wrong if you choose synthetic or wool. And it's really personal preference. You know, let's just say pros and cons. So wool is the master at managing body odor when you're in the field. And so, you know, if you're a person, you know, that's an issue, or if you're with, you know, another buddy, you're going to be in a small tent for 10 days, you know, maybe that is a benefit to you. I almost exclusively wear wool when I'm whitetail hunting just for that very reason, because it's such a critical thing, right? I want to take every advantage I can get. Synthetic, to me, you know, manages moisture better. So it's going to dry a lot quicker. So if I'm in wet environments where I could be wet and it's cold, that's going to dry quicker, but it is not going to manage body odor near as well. No matter what treatments anybody puts on it, you know, we put Polygene, it's just not going to do as well as the natural fiber. Wool tends to be a little bit more expensive and not quite as durable, and synthetic tends to be a little less expensive and a little more durable. I think the other thing you'll find is there's a lot of more options as far as styling with some of the synthetics than the wool. So as an example, we have a core lightweight hoodie, synthetic, incredibly popular, right? Face mask, a lot of technical features. We currently don't make that in a wool. You know, we've talked about it. So, you know, you kind of have those options, but really you can't go wrong. If somebody really likes, you know, a wool and it feels good to their skin, and you know, they don't mind, you know, the way it feels if it gets a little wet and clammy for just a little while, then absolutely use it. The only thing I would say with base layers, I only have one rule when it comes to anything related to clothing, and it's any kind of technical clothing system, just do not use any cotton. And that's just the only rule, because it's going to hold water, it's not going to give it up, it's going to make you cold.
What's the old saying, cotton kills?
It does kill, right? And the other thing is cotton is going to limit the performance of the clothing system that you've got around you. So you're going to spend all this money to build this great system. Don't ruin it by putting cotton in it, because it's going to kill the performance, and that's not what you're trying to get.
So there's both options work, and there's a lot of different options available.
A lot of different options.
Just whatever you're looking for. Whether you want merino, if you want synthetic, depends on your body and what you're going to go after, I guess.
Yep, exactly.
Just say get all this in the goHUNT gear shop.
Yeah, 'cause that's like a separate. That's like a separate video. in
Get
itself.
all this in the goHUNT gear shop.
We're just using that right there. Cut.